like my thought of compensation for my work, thinking about it not just in the dollar amount, but also in the time amount. Like, you know, there are certain projects that, or even like ways, like, so there are a few ways to basically increase how much you're making, or I guess, I haven't like fully formed this idea, but realistically, like if you're working 12 hours a day and making a ton of money, you're losing a lot of time and you're losing a lot of like meaningful life, especially with the people that you love and the things that you love doing. And so, you know, work hours, there are diminishing returns on work hours. You get more money, but you get less time. And so are you really earning more in that? And just kind of shifting my mindset in that and thinking of, you know, I can be compensated more in life. And compensation for me is not just money. It's also time to spend with the people I love and doing the things that I love doing.
Yeah.
And so I can increase my compensation overnight, like double my compensation, you know, in the matter of a few weeks by focusing on workflow and efficiency,
Yeah.
get more done in less time. And so you get paid the same amount of money, but you have 40% more time in the day to do other things that aren't work. And I love my work. But yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, sorry.
But you don't want to,
tangent.
No, you don't want to, like, you know, if you're repeating a task all the time, or it's something that's a little bit menial or whatever, and it doesn't actually help you with, it's not fun, part of that fun, creative, you know, flow zone that we get into, then maybe there's ways to expedite it, or whatever the word is.
100%. Yeah, I get very passionate about workflow. It's
nice.
It's extremely important to me.
Are you into like the SoundFlow and all that kind of stuff?
I'm so deep into SoundFlow.
Oh, you're deep.
So a lot of people do the Stream Deck thing, and I've got a Stream Deck, but I use it just as a monitor controller right now. But with SoundFlow, like I don't use a Stream Deck. I've probably created, you know, probably 50 new keyboard shortcuts through SoundFlow, whether they're like macro things or just quick, easy little things. But I'm just like, let's just add some new shortcuts. But yeah, I love SoundFlow. SoundFlow for, you know, so many different things. You know, even something as simple as, you know, if you're in Pro Tools and you're wanting to render an audio suite thing, like you're declicking something, having to move your mouse up to hit that render button after you do the selection, just assign a shortcut to the render button so your mouse never has to move. You can keep blowing through selections and just bam, bam, bam. And, you know, think about, well, that might only save me 2.5 seconds per time, but that adds up. It adds up over your career and just adds up on the wear on your brain, on the non-creative menial work. So anyway.
Yeah. And it's more likely to pull you out of a flow state.
100%.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
So
Bounce Factory, absolutely into that.
So given all this information, I'm assuming you're not like delegating stuff. You don't have people helping you out. You're kind of doing it all by yourself with
I do
help
have
of automation.
An assistant. Yeah, I have automation has reduced the scope of the things that my assistant would do. But I utilize him more than I used to now, specifically in session prep, just getting things to me. So I open it up and it's exactly what I'm used to seeing every single time. No surprises, you know, and it's literally, after I kind of went through the mindset of like, how can I, and I'm continually in the mindset of how can I make things more efficient? I you know, automated a lot of things, but now I'm just thinking, how can I eliminate as many non-creative tasks from my day as possible and delegate those things out, provide an opportunity for somebody, treat them really well in the process, pay them well.
Yeah.
But how can I create an opportunity for somebody else, but also make it so instead of, you know, spending, you know, 30% of my day on non-creative tasks and 70% on the creative mix work, what if I spend 100% of it and I get more mixes out of the door with in the same amount of time, you know, those sorts of things. So That's where I'm at right now. It's like,
Great.
how can I focus on doing just the things that I can do and the things that people are actually hiring me for? People aren't hiring me to set up a session. They're hiring me to interpret a mix in a specific way. And so I want to spend 100% of my time on that.
Yeah. And do you find that like the less time you do spend doing the menial stuff, the better the mixes are, the more creative they are? Or
100%.
It's just time. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also, it's just like the flow state thing. It's like, I feel like there's like a big mind and energy cost for me doing those menial, like technical, non-creative things. So that the point, if I'm spending an hour setting up a session and fixing problems, I come into the creative part with less energy,
right,
and less clarity in the creativity. And so I've found that as I've delegated those more, non-creative tasks out, I'm able to, even like I spend less time per mix, like because I'm more efficient and I'm fresher and I'm just in that creative state the entire time. Yeah. And so it's been a massive benefit for me, massive benefit.
Yeah.
Being able to say yes to more work and build more relationships, all those things. Like it's been amazing.
It's literally scaling, right? Because there's only so many of you, or there's only so many hours of the day that you can do things. And the more you delegate the things that you don't need to do, the more good work you can do. And and then just getting an extra mix helps just pay for the person who's helping you prep the sessions. And
I calculated. I was like, oh, but I'm going to be paying someone else. And I thought, literally, if his work helps me get in one more mix a week, I'll more than pay.
This is like 4-hour work week stuff. It's like,
oh yeah.
Whereas it's just like, if you just think in that bigger picture of like, the bigger I grow, the more people I bring in, the more the more I'm scaling it. It's just a bigger picture mentality than most people have, because especially at the beginning, we're all scrapping, and we're all like just trying to be scrappy and like at the very beginning, the budgets are low, and your time is actually less valuable at the beginning than it is later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
you have to make that you have to make that switch.
Absolutely. And I feel like I made the switch too late. I always feel like with rate changes and bringing someone on to help me, I'm always like, why didn't I do this a year ago? What took me so long? And so I'm always glad that I've made the jump. And so, but I think always have to, a big value of mine is that any decision I make with efficiency or bringing someone on, I only want it to ever increase the quality of the final product instead of dilute it. There are ways where you can start bringing in people. Oh, maybe they'll do the first 50% of the mix. You know what I mean? Oh, because is that really the important part or whatever? There are ways to when you start, you can start chipping away at consistency and quality and the thing being a dependable, having a dependable output. And so that's the thing that I'm like, I'm committed, like, okay, I'm willing to grow this thing and scale this thing, but I'm not willing to cut corners and make compromises on the final product that ends up into people's hands.